Who's doing that? Who would do that? Welcome back to Dramatic Evaluation. In this video, we're going to talk about the top 5 most annoying, dumbest, stupidest movie tropes that are out there. Things that are inevitable. They're going to be in everything. You've seen them a million times. You're going to keep seeing them. They're just around and are going to stick around, but are real dumb and annoying and probably don't need to stick around. Hollywood just keeps doing them. They think they need them. They think the stories need these conflicts, these things going on that they repeatedly do over and over that we've seen a million times. They don't. Okay, they don't need them. You can get creative and tell a story without doing these same things that a billion other people have done 1,000 million trillion times before you. But what do I know? I don't make movies. I just watch them and have my opinions on them. So here we go. So before the top 5, I'm going to just talk about a few, not really tropes, but kind of like observations, things that I just see all the time in movies that are ridiculous and I don't understand. And I want to kind of talk about a few of these. The first thing I want to talk about, cutting your hand like across the palm. Okay, when there's like a movie that's got like they're going to do like a blood sacrifice, or like, oh, you need to cut, like we need a drop of blood in this witch's cauldron or something. Every time, I've seen this in 1,000 movies and shows. They take a knife and they cut like clear, like across the entire palm, and then like squeeze their hand and have it. I think that's the whole thing of why they do that, is that like dramatic squeezing the hand to get the blood to come out. But it's like, who's doing that? Who would do that? Okay, if you had to, this thing, for whatever reason, there's blood that's needed, and you had to get it out of yourself, are you cutting clear across your entire palm? So, okay, well now I can never grab things again. By the way, they just quickly wrap something around it, and then they're all good to like grab stuff, jump on a rope and swing, do all this stuff. Oh, okay. No, you wouldn't be able to do that. I would like cut the top of my arm or like the back of my hand somewhere, man. Anywhere. Legit, like anywhere else but the palm of your hand. You're now unable to grab anything, touch anything, do anything. Also, it doesn't need to be this 5-inch cut across your entire palm. Just like put a little cut right there and get a little bit of blood out of there, man. Like, you know what I'm talking about. You had to have seen this because they do it in a million movies. Next time you watch this, you'll laugh when you see someone cutting across the entirety of their palm, and you'll say to yourself, why did they do that? Very unnecessary. And then you'll probably see him, like I said, swing on a rope or something after that. Like, it's nothing. Another quick little one is the way people talk on the phone in movies. I'm not the first one to observe this one and talk about this one, but it's just worth mentioning. Like, people almost never say goodbye on the phone. They just, like, they're like having their dramatic conversation, and then they just hang up. Like, imagine talking to your friend, and you're like having your regular conversation, and then it gets to the end of it, and instead of being like, all right, man, well, I'll see you later, or I'll, hit me up next week or whatever, you just like hang up the phone without saying anything. Okay, nobody does that. It's not how people talk. They do it in movies and TV shows, I guess, to save time, and then also for dramatic effect of just like, let's get it going. So dumb. Nobody does that. Okay, and then the last thing before we get to the top 5 is just eating. Okay, eating is never necessary. And there's my neighbor's car. I'll wait for my neighbor's car. Okay? Eating. Never necessary. Gross. I think some people are less affected as others. If you have misophonia, if you know what that is, I think that contributes to it. I very much do, and cannot stand watching and especially listening to people eating on movies and TV. Like, the sound design they like add, they're like smacking and chewing, like, and when people are talking with food in their mouth and like getting through like multiple sentences with that same bite of food in their mouth, like, you don't need that. You don't need it. You can very easily get through a movie or a TV show without having anyone eating food. You don't have to put it in there. And even if you have like a scene around a dinner table, the scene is going to have conversation. It's like why you're doing it, and you're putting it in a setting of like, oh, well, people eat, so we want it to be natural, so like we'll have eating. They can have food on the table and be in a restaurant or be at the dinner table. They don't have to be like shoveling food into their mouth and while they're trying to talk. Like, don't need it. Don't need to do it. So please stop doing it. Okay. So enough of those little observations. Now let's get to the top 5. These are the ones that I think are just really up there for me. Like, I could just do without these. Well, a couple of them you kind of need, but I'll talk about that. So number 5, post-apocalyptic dystopian future stuff. I love it. I love it. It's probably like one of my favorite genres. I love horror. I love stuff like that. So like Walking Dead. I love Walking Dead. It's post-apocalyptic kind of dystopian future type of deal. But my thing about it is, how did it get there? You almost never see. You'll see a few here and there movies and shows that like do the start of the like downfall of society, but pretty much breeze past it, and then it's like, oh, like Last of Us, they show like right before, and like they're like break like stuff starting to go off, but then they like fast forward several years and you're just in the apocalypse. Like, I get it, like it's an easy way to just get past all the details, because here's the detail they're getting past. How on earth okay, like a small group of survivors, like let's take Walking Dead, they're able to defy the odds and like survive and get through all this stuff and take down hordes and swarms of zombies and stuff. How about the military, man? What happened to the military? How are gigantic organized groups of people with guns and all kinds of other weapons and tanks and stuff, how did they get stopped and taken down by what is, in the example of zombies, like way less zombies at the start of it than there are, years later into the apocalypse when there's like hordes of zombies. I can't fathom a way that would happen. So I'd love to see it. Show me how that took place. Oh, you didn't. None of you did. No movie, no show shows that, because you can't explain it, because I don't think could happen. The military force is like, it's too big, too many people, too many resources and weapons and things like this. Like, it doesn't make sense. So that whole thing is kind of dumb, but on the other hand, like, I love it. So that's one that I don't want to do without. Like, go ahead and keep doing it. I just think it's funny and wanted to talk about that, skipping over the how did this happen. Okay, number 4, again, another one that I don't hate and I can definitely live with and am okay seeing going forward and will see going forward, is jump scares. Okay, again, I love horror. You're gonna have jump scares in every horror movie. It just comes with the territory, and sometimes they're good, sometimes they're done well. Example that comes to mind, Hereditary. There's a couple jump scares in there that are just like the guy like standing in the back of the room in the darkness, and all of a sudden you like realize there's a guy there, like when she's like in the room, like that kind of thing. That's solid, that's good, that is effective, it works well, and it's not cheap and cheesy. The cheap jump scares that I think are ridiculous and could do without, and most of them do this, but like when you telegraph it with like music build up, and it's like building up and it's like timed with the music, and then the music like crescendos or like culminates in the jump scare, and then it's like the friend popping out of the closet, and it's not even like a thing that's actually, it's not the monster or the killer or whatever. Like, you see it coming, you know what's happening, you're like, well, it's not even going to be effective, because you're like, okay, I see and hear that you're leading up to a jump scare right now, I guess I'll see what this is. And then it's, especially when it's not the killer or monster or whatever, and it's just like some other like stupid misdirect thing or whatever, like a friend jumping out of the closet. I'm good, man. I can do without those. Just Just don't need that. It's stupid, and I'm over it. Number 3, the love triangle. Usually just in like romantic comedies, and I guess you'll see it in like some like action adventure type of movies and dramas, obviously. Man, it's only ever annoying to me. It's only ever annoying. You know why? Because it's the same thing every time, and you know how it's going to end. You know what's going to happen. You have to go through the motions, go through the back and forth. You got your lead character, and then the two guys or girls, whatever the case is. There's always like the good one and the bad one, and you want the person to end up with the good one and not the bad one. You know, whether that's like the ex that you don't want them to get back with the ex. They make it clear and obvious who you want the person to end up with. And then they go through the motions of like the back and forth. They even like sometimes lead you down the path of like, oh, like they had a fight or a bad situation with the good one that you wanted the lead to end up with. So then they go to the ex or the bad one. And you're like, no, I don't want them to end up with it. Well, relax, they won't. Because then something's going to happen there, and then they'll end up with the good one. Always 100% of the time, it ends the way you want it to. Maybe 99% of the time, there's always stuff out there that tries to subvert your expectations, but so over it. Okay, that's why I don't typically watch romantic comedies, because they're just predictable, and you know exactly what's going to happen in the story, and so it's not for me. So that one leads to number 2, which is kind of similar and just along the same vein. But when lovers fight or, cheat on each other, and then they make up and end up together at the end. Okay, you know they're getting back together. Okay, it's not like a thing of like, oh no, like they got in a fight, and are they gonna make up? Yeah, they're gonna make up. Yep. Spoiler alert, they're making up, and they're going to get back together. So, I don't know, man. Like, when a whole movie's all about that, it's just like a romantic comedy. It's kind of like, what's the point of this movie? Like, you know what's going to happen. But that just is what it is. It's like that genre, so it's like, if you like that, okay, that's fine. But when it's in, like, an action movie or whatever, and it's like a small part, like a B story, C story of the movie or show, that's when it's really annoying, because you know what's going to happen. They're going to get back together. And so, like, why are we even doing this? Like, who cares? Like, do something else that's interesting. Don't just do this repeated thing that a billion other movies and shows have done, and you know what the outcome is going to be. Especially when it's cheating. For me, I don't know, some people may feel differently about this than others, but when it involves cheating, like, I get pissed off at the cheater, and then if they get back together, which they 9 times out of 10 do, it's like tarnished, and I hate the cheater. Now I hate this character, and I don't want them to be back together. I don't want that. I hate it. It's stupid, and get over it and stop doing that. Thanks. And number 1, the dumbest trope for me personally. I know some people definitely don't mind this, and some people like this. I hate it. But the hero or the main character dying at the end. Stop it. Stop. Okay, we like them. We're rooting for them. We're watching because of them. Why do you want to stab us in the heart and kill this character at the end, or have something bad happen to them, have their story end with their demise instead of like a happy ending? And I get it. I know, like, there's tons of movies that like, oh, you don't have to have a happy ending for it to be good, for sure. But like an example, like, so Blood Diamond is, I remember I watched that movie, and like, spoiler alert, I guess, on Blood Diamond. But Leonardo DiCaprio dies at the end, and you're just like, you didn't need to do that. Like, that was weird. Like, there's this like final stand at the end, and he dies, and it's like, I don't know. I don't think that was necessary. And then after that, every movie that came out, like, the hero died. I remember there was like a year or a few months or whatever of like every movie that came out after that, the hero was dying. And I don't think that was, I just, what are you doing? What are you doing? We like this guy. Don't kill him. It's such a weird ending. The Walking Dead is an example of one where you have your main character, Rick Grimes, greatest character of all time, almost constantly in danger, the threat of death always there. He's always in a situation where he's like about to die. Daryl saves him, gets him out of a jam, whatever, like, and it's awesome. And he's the ultimate survivor. you kind of, on the one hand, know nothing's going to happen to him. He's not going to die. But on the other hand, he's always in these situations where you're like, he could die. Like, this is crazy. And they do it well, where it's not like overly predictable of like, oh, no, he's going to be safe. It's still entertaining and it's good, the situation that they put him in and get him out of. And then he lives, and you're stoked. You're like, yeah, that's right, dude. This guy knows what's up. He can survive. He gets out of it, even if he needs the help of others to do so. It happens, and it's interesting, and it's good, and it's well done. But having them die at the end would piss me off. I would be so pissed. So yeah, just stop doing it. Don't need the character to die at the end. We can be okay with them having a quote-unquote happy ending and being alive, because that's the character we were with the entire time and so why would we want to see that person die? That's it for my top 5 dumbest tropes. Thanks for bearing with me on this channel so far. I've only, this is my 4th, I think this is my 4th video. Still very new to this. I'm a week into this, 2 weeks into this. I'm still trying to figure things out. So thank you for your patience. Bear with me. Just open to suggestions. Definitely comment below on this video for tropes that annoy you, things that you can do without, tropes that you do like. So thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe and comment below on this video or my other videos. Let me know what you want to see and stay tuned. Until next time.